Welcome to this. My brain just tried to say Friday then. Thursday live craft and chat. Wednesday, if you are on the other side of the world. In this chat, we like to craft and chat while we're live. I'm just jumping over into the comments. You girls and guys, but girls in particular, I saw Kathy and who was it? Because I was checking earlier. It was Kathy and Kelly. Kathy and Kelly right at this like an hour and a half ago or something like that already started the chat. So good morning to you. Good morning to everybody who is here. So many of you in the chat. We've got Jen Deal as a mod today, and Leanne is also a mod. So we've got new faces in the mod room. Sally is not feeling awesome, so she probably won't make it in today, I don't think. So we'll see how she goes. Anyway, hi. I was like, I'm trying to get ready and then realized I didn't have the iPad in here, and then the dog was pulling the blanket off the chair, and I was just like, oh, I've got 1 minute to go. So is our hostess trying to rush the weekend? Look, I don't know if rush the weekend is what I was actually going for, but I just think I actually forgot what day it was. nothing untoward, just forgot what day it was. Yesterday was a I don't want to say sad day. It wasn't so much sad, but it was the end of an era yesterday, and it was I watched them hoik the shack onto the back of a truck and take it away. So it was a little bit it was definitely emotional, but I don't know if I actually felt so much sad. I actually don't know what I was feeling a lot, but I'm not sure if any of it was sad. There's so many new opportunities. Like the original decision to get rid of the shack was sad, and I think I got over all the sad stuff a couple of weeks back as I was trying to do all this sort of stuff. Now, it's not that I'm not totally overwhelmed. My house is it doesn't look like a house. Let's just go with that. Because to make this space, this room was actually full. And it was full of craft and fluff and like shelves and bookshelves, and like there was a whole bookshelf here. So it was everything had to find new homes, and we have quite a small house. So at the moment, not everything's actually found a home. Some of it's just kind of in crates in the living room and in the hallway and around the dining table, and pretty well anywhere that I could stack something is currently covered in stuff. So I'm in the process of going through everything, working out what I actually want versus what I feel guilty about keeping. Let me know in the chat if there was any time during your crafting, or and you know what, probably any kind of hobby in your life, not just crafting, but if there were any supplies that you bought and paid money for that you realized this was a bad decision, I'm never going to use it, I don't like it, or whatever reason, but then you have to work out how to get rid of it, because it's been some of this stuff I know I've held on to for 15 years. It's actually worth nothing now, and some of it really just needs to go in the bin and go to the rubbish tip. Whereas, you know, some of it I can find new homes for, and some of it some of the stuff I was going to keep, I've actually decided I found some new homes for, so I'm going to be donating some of those things as well. So I would love to know in the chat if there's anything that you've had for your supplies, then let me know. Now, someone's saying in the chat that I froze. I don't appear to be frozen. Have I frozen for anybody else or just Ruth? So let me know. I had a little flicker on a screen for a second, but everything seems to be running. So let me know. Now I'm just going to come back here through the complicated emotions from Tala. Yes, complicated emotions. It's nearly kind of like now there's no excuses. And there's things I have to do. I don't know. Maybe that could be it. I don't know what it is. Leanne says, glad it went okay. Sounds like a big mixed bag of emotions going on, and the shack removal was one step forward. I think you're right. I think it's time for like those of you that are here all the time, you know, I actually have a second channel and I'm working on a new business as well. And it's probably time for me to start pouring more energy into video creation here for Fiberific and over there for the ins and outs of live streaming. And that's kind of the goal, is to create more videos for both. No matter what happens to Fiberific, the physical being, Fiberific, the YouTube channel, it's not going anywhere unless you will leave me. Like, I mean, then I might quit. But as long as you guys don't leave, then I'm still here. Okay, so it was just for Ruth the Freeze. That's awesome. Francis, that's terrible. I bought a kilo of alpaca only to discover I don't like spinning alpaca. Now, Francis, like all fibers and yarns, not all alpaca is created equal. Some alpaca fiber is horrible. Now, I'm allergic to alpaca, but I found out the hard way after I'd already, you know, done a lot of alpaca spinning. And so it was definitely the hard way that I found out. But I would have a look at the alpaca that you got. Did you buy like alpaca roving or sliver, or did you buy raw fleece? Because some of the people that sell the raw fleeces, they're like, oh, I've got this amazing alpaca fiber off my pet alpaca who keeps the lawn down. Those alpaca fibers, they're not great. Usually they've probably got guard hair in them. They're a mess. They're not fine because they haven't been sort of bred for fiber. It's like sheep as well. There's different alpacas for different jobs. But you may find that there might be some other alpaca that you like. So don't throw all alpaca into the same basket. For me, all the alpaca is in your allergic basket. But for you, it may not be the case. I am just scrolling back. Oh, I did freeze for some of you. Okay. All right. So just jumped out and jumped back in. So that's all good. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Thank you all for letting us all know. It wasn't just Ruth. It was for lots of people. It was just a bit of jittery. Jen Deal is saying, I was a quilter and there was something that happened in my life and I had to realize the season was over. I cried getting rid of all the stuff. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, definitely. Because quilting is it's another craft with big supplies, isn't it? So you've got like all your threads, your fabrics, your wadding, your batting, your pins, your machines. Like the machines can be insane. Like, but yes, totally understand. Kathy saying, I have so much yarn that I'm thinking of donating it to our local aging and human services. And that's the thing. Sorry, I've woken up with a tickle in my throat this morning. So I'm just going to have a drink. Now, I don't know about you, Kathy, but we're not going to mention how many years I've been going on with this craft journey. Stuff that I bought years ago, I'm not in love with anymore. And as our time becomes more precious, or we'd start doing bigger projects that take more time, then we have to think about the products or the yarns, etc., that we bought way back then. And that's where I'm at. I've got a lot of yarn. Some of it is only worthy of the bin. Don't get me wrong. I bought it on sale like 20 years ago. It was acrylic and it's actually started breaking down. That's going in the bin. There's crates of that stuff. So it feels like a waste, but there's nowhere else that it can go. It's no good to anybody. But then there's stuff that's perfectly good. There is nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly good. I just don't like it anymore. And I sort of think back when I bought it. And when I bought it, I was in love with it. I'm like, oh my God, I love this so much. And you buy tons of it. And then, you use up heaps of it. And then you realize down the track further, you're like, yeah, I don't love this. I don't love it. So it's definitely one of those things where I think for me, who's never done this, I highly recommend that you do this. I would say every year or every couple of years, go through your stash, go through everything and work out, is this something that's good and that you're planning to use eventually, like when you find a good project for it? Because I've got like entire crates of like really good yarn that I just need to find the perfect project for. But is it really good and you just want to keep it? That's fine. Does it give you joy looking at it and patting it? Keep it. That's fine. But then, is there the guilt yarns? I paid for this. I can't get rid of it. I need to use it for something, but I hate it. Those are the yarns that I would donate to crafting groups or somewhere that's like teaching high school crafters, or somewhere that or another group that are making things for charity and just need supplies. So I've got some stuff like going for places like that. And I just, it's hard to just sort of let go of it and go, you know what, this is having a new life somewhere else. So yes. Freaky Geek is asking, could it be the guard hair you're actually allergic to and not the rest of the fiber? I originally thought that, Freaky, because I also have, I'm allergic to dust, which is hilarious, which is why I've got a bit of a chesty cough at the moment. My allergy reactions have been going through the roof because of all the moving of things around. So much dust. But I originally thought that because I was reacting to spinning the raw fleeces, and alpacas are dust bathers. So I originally thought it was the dust I was reacting to. So then I started making sure I washed all the fleeces before I used them, and I was still having problems with them. So I'd make sure that when I got a fleece in, I would lay it out and I would pick all the guard hairs out with like full-on gloves and long sleeves on, because I thought maybe it's the guard hairs I'm reacting to. And then I'd pick out all the guard hairs and then I would wash the fleece. Like alpaca fleeces don't need scouring, but they can totally use a good wash because they're very dusty. Scouring gets rid of the lanolin and the oils. Alpacas don't so much have that, but they do like a dust bath. And then I bought in some beautiful yarn that I was going to start dyeing, and I was going to be adding it to the Fiberific stable of yarns. And it was this beautiful commercial baby alpaca and silk, and it just felt divine. And it crocheted up like so beautifully with gorgeous drape. And I reacted probably the worst to that. And that was commercially picked, carded. It was so soft. And that's when I went to the doctor and we got some testing done. And that's when we realized, no, it's all alpaca, but it's not all camelid, which still doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, all alpaca, but not all camelid. All right. I'm going to keep going through the chat here. Knitspin Girl says she doesn't like to spin alpaca either. Holly says, I really need to go through my yarn and donate the yarn that I know I will never use. And don't do what I've done, which is keep it and keep it and keep it until nobody can use it. So there's some yarns that I should have donated years ago because they could have at least still been used. Whereas now there's issues with them. And I had this beautiful yarn. It was a milk fiber and something else yarn. It was in this gorgeous purple. And I pulled it out of the crate and I was actually getting covered in dust. It was actually disintegrating. Like it had been in a sealed crate in a dark room for 8 years. So I probably wouldn't make anything that needs to last longer than 8 years in milk fiber. I mean, it could have just been that particular spotlight milk fiber, but yes. Francis says, it was nicely prepared top, and Mum thought it was lovely. I just don't like the feel. And I'll be honest with you, spinning alpaca, especially dirty alpaca, but even processed alpaca, depending on your spinning wheel, the little fine guides, and especially the orifice guide going into your wheel, alpaca actually eats through it because it ends up being like a fine grit sandpaper. And those people that I know that are massive alpaca spinners who had their Marja crafts, they actually need to replace some of their parts a lot more regularly than other people. And I actually highly recommend that they get ceramic parts rather than the stainless steel. Lots of half of the thumbs are broken. That's not good. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. I like that. They're broken. John says, I've just sold some things from my hobbies and then had regret, and now I'm buying stuff back. That was the concern that I had. So what I'm doing is I'm not selling or giving away any of my tools that I only have one of. So I've got multiple Swifts. Some of those are going. I've actually got a Nancy's Knickknacks. Like, to me, they're the cream of the crop for Swifts. I've not come across one that I like more, but I already have one. And the joke that I had with Bob Schroyer when I ordered in all my Nancy's Knickknack tools was like, who are you going to will these to? Because they don't break. So I have a Nancy's Knickknacks 2-yard tabletop manual. It's got a winder on it for a single sled, so it can do one skein at a time with a manual winder. I've got one of those that's brand new in the box, never been built. I've actually got it shipped to me before they closed down to actually do an unboxing and a build for on camera. I'm not going to do that now. So now I need to try and just make some money back off that one. And I think they were retailing, I'd have to have a look, but I think they were retailing for around $900 last look. But I just want to get my money back. So I'd gotten a deal because I was going to be making a video with it and all these sorts of like perks. So basically I'm like, I just need $400 out of this thing. So, you know, I'm going to be adding some things into probably Facebook groups, because I do want to make sure it's local. So I don't want to be having, because like the shipping, these are big wooden and metal tools. They are heavy and they are bulky, and postage is going to be a nightmare. So I definitely want to be making sure that someone local just comes and picks those up. So there's that. I also have, which I'm just going to give away, an Ashford Kiwi Swift. I'm not a fan. I used it for years and then I upgraded, but then I never got rid of it. So that needs to go. And there was something else. Oh, I've got brand new in a box, never used, returned by a customer because of a change of mind. Hitchhiker road bug wheel, brand new, nothing wrong with it. In its box, everything's included. They opted for like the extra carry bag. Everything's in there still. So there's some things that those tools are going to go. But my drum carder, my looms, all that sort of stuff that are big and bulky, I'm finding spaces for them. They're not going anywhere. I'm keeping them. I said to my husband, because he's like, you never use your drum carder. Why don't you just sell it? And I'm like, honey, I bought this drum carder. It would be, I want to say 7-ish, 8-ish years ago. I got that drum carder for about $400-500. It was it's a shacked or Strouch. I always get those two mixed up. One of them makes drum carders, one of them doesn't. Petite. It's like a little half-size one. And I got that for like $400 or $500, and I showed him how much they are now. And he was just like, yes, let's find a crate for that. Because I said, you know, I may not make any bats this week or this year, but if I decide in 4 years' time I need to make a bat, imagine how much more it's going to be to replace those things. So I've got no problems with getting rid of supplies, but when it comes to tools, I am more likely to hold on to them. That looks yummy. Are you talking about my delicious coffee? Because yes, it is yummy. Just make sure it stays on the edge of the table. Oh, Rebecca says, I got my Spanish peacock spindle this morning and it came with a little bit of fluff. I'm loving it. Oh, that is awesome. They're such the cutest spindles. Love Spanish peacock spindles. I love alpaca yarn. It's so soft. Never tried spinning it. I'd love to learn. Already have the spindle and some fluff, but still haven't tried it. Well, it sounds like when you're ready to give it a go, you've got what you need. Lisby says, I gave away so much of my Spotlight wool. I thought it was great when I first bought it, but now I'm finding it scratchy and not fun. You know what? I'm the same. I have a lot of stuff that I bought from Spotlight back in the day. Spotlight is an Australian big box. So think Joann's and Michael's. So it's a craft store, but does all the crafts. And I bought a lot of supplies from them back in the day. And I'm with you, Lisby, now. I just don't like them because as we grow in our crafts and as we grow in our hobbies, we want a different level or a different caliber of tool, because we've come to realize that we actually take so much pleasure and enjoyment out of what we're doing, and we only have like limited time. Do we want to be using dodgy yarn? Now, like if you need to use dodgy yarn, well, not so much dodgy, but like yarn you don't like. So even if I'm making something as a gift for charity and things like that, I'm not going to use scratchy, horrible wool, because imagine receiving that gift. You're not going to appreciate it. So, like you need something that's going to be usable. So yeah, I definitely am in that camp. I just got gifted 20-year-old yarn that is still worth $20 per skein, and I have a small jumper quality. Noro is so pricey, even I don't buy it, so I'm winning. That's awesome. Depending on the Noro, I actually don't like all of Noro's lines. They've got their wool. I don't like their wool. I like their Silk Garden. And I like they've got a cotton one. I love how they dye their colors. I think their space dyeing is amazing. But their wool, they've got a wool, I think it's a wool silk blend, but the wool is scratchy and I don't. I think I accidentally clicked mute. How long was the sound gone for? So Rebecca ordered a goddess, but it's they're coming from Australia. I don't know if you heard me say that. So yeah, I don't know how, but I think I accidentally clicked the mute button. I'm like looking over here where I've got all my sound meters and they're like going normal, and then I see the red mute over here. I'm like, oh dear. A good 2 minutes or more. Oh, okay. All right. That's awesome. Live video, everybody. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I was saying that the Lair of the Bearded Dragon are here in Australia, so it might take a little while for you to get it, but you are going to love it once you do. So yeah. That's so funny. Wow. All right. Now I do have my queen here to work on. As well. But tell me what you're working on in the chat too. Oh, when you have that sit and you think, oh, I'm going to cough? Trying to drink my coffee before it gets cold. Let me count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, we were talking Noro when the sound disappeared. Maybe there's like some Noro police on the internet and they made me move the mouse so that they didn't hear me say the things because I don't like Noro wool. I like their silk and I like their cotton, but I don't like their wool. Oh, that's so funny. All right, hang on. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's the start of a new row, everybody. 9 and 10. So yeah, so everything in my house is, I keep calling it the tip. My husband's requested that I stop calling the house the tip. But it feels like the tip is like where the rubbish trucks go to dump all the rubbish. Kathy said I posted a photo of my bee blanket. and working on another blanket 2/3. Kathy, you are on fire. And that bee blanket was gorgeous. I saw the photos. Jen has finished the filet tablecloth now and back to the Montana. Goodness me. Again, on fire. I was warping thread for card weaving, started getting ticked off with my counts and bubbling. Now I'm here. Okay. Rebecca's playing with her new spindle, as you should. When you've got a new spindle, it requires some playtime. Francis said, I spent a day over at Mum's over Easter. I spent a day at Mum's over Easter blending cashmere and merino, starting to spin it today. It's lovely. Oh, yes. Molly says that I don't like the feel of Noro, but I love the colors. I love how Noro dyes their yarn. It is so fun and different, and the colors they put together are just crazy, and there's no bleeding. I love how they dye their yarn. I just don't like the feel of all their blends. Jancy is knitting April's gnome. Oh, I'll have to have a look at that. Oh, good point, Leanne. You'll have to share a photo, Rebecca, so we can all ooh and ah over your spindle. So if you want to jump into the fun zone, I did put a link to today's stream into the fun zone. So if you want to add your photos and things that we talk about under there, so that we can keep it all together, so we know where we were when we were talking about the thing. Oh, Dolores has finished the 3rd Christmas stocking cast on a vest for Dad's upcoming birthday. Dolores, don't you have like 15 stockings to make or something? It felt like it was 15, and you needed to do just about more than one a month. So you got up to 3. So that's 3 in 4 months. So you get, I mean, you're doing better than I would. Let's just go with that. I've just finished some Stardust Melodies and now doing a knitted cobweb shawl. Gorgeous. Leanne's popped in the link for the fun zone. Not working on anything today, playing games while I listen. Oh, fun, Vanfia. Games are fun. Sometimes you need something that's not yarn. Where are we? Yep. Okay. Now I've done my 10. And then it's 2. This is just the start of the row. So it is definitely getting there. Now I just need to have a look here and work out if that just, they just stack on top of the previous row. Hey Daniel, how you going? This is Daniel, my brother, who's done that video we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, the funny one with the funny accent. That's that brother. So yeah. 13 stockings. Okay, so it's not as bad. 13 stockings. I should be a bit further along, but of course I take on a new project. You and me both, Dolores. You and me both. So yeah. I just finished frogging a 70% done cardigan, including a tubular cast off. The gauge swatch lied. Oh, that's terrible. 70% in, and that's when you worked out. Far out. Oh man, the thing's not giving us the emoticons when I share it on the screen. Happy Easter. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm doing all right, Daniel. It's a sad week because the shack got picked up yesterday. Jennifer is going to be knitting I'm into garment knitting at the moment. On my 3rd jumper for the year, I also made some comfort chickens for Easter. Jennifer, I need to see a photo of what a comfort chicken is. If you could please go and put one into the fun zone, that would be amazing. I have no idea what a comfort chicken is, but for some reason I need one. Oh, I did think I had 14 to start with, but apparently I can't count. Oh my goodness. Vampire says Artsog is playing World of Warcraft while he listens. You know, I've never played WoW, and I actually think I'd enjoy it. So I should probably do that. Bye, Daniel. Have an awesome day. That's how I ended up with the giant sock. Yes, you did have your giant sock. Okay, I just successfully watched for Love Note starting now. As in a Love Note sweater, Josephine? If that's what I've... because you don't... Oh, no, because you've been making that other sweater for a while. I'm very confused. Happy Easter. Why does my phone change happy to hair Easter? I don't know. Phones are hinky. I was actually watching I'm just going to switch back for a second. I was watching a comedian. Oh, what's his name? I can't remember his name. I can picture him. He's an English comedian and he's tall and skinny and he's got brown hair. Oh, I can't think. Anyway, I'll find the skit and I'll throw it into the fun zone. But he was talking about how he misses the days of the Nokia 3310s and 3320s because then you just had a calendar, you had a calculator, and you had Snake. And autocorrect was just like, if you got more than 4 letters in your word, you're on your own. If you want to use them big words, you're on your own. Whitehall. That's it. It's Whitehall. Oh my gosh, that's who he is. Yes, he cracks me up. I love watching him. But yeah, so I'll find the skit, but it was just so funny. It was just like, if you want to use those big words, you're on your own. Oh my gosh. Jack Whitehall. That's it. You guys are awesome. I don't even have to like dig it through later. Jack Whitehall. Curious. I know it's not a new pattern. Has anyone done a mandala madness? I think I have to do this pattern. I have seen it. I have it in my list of things I'd love to make, but I am also scared of starting it. Does that make sense? It looks crazy. Oh, yeah, it is. It's, yep. Anybody else? Ruth says, not yet, Jen. It's on my bucket list of patterns. Oh, Morgan's been watching the specials on Netflix. Ooh, I'll have to go and check them out. I've just been watching the ones that come into my feed on YouTube. Kathy has made the sacred space blanket. I don't know. I don't think I know that one. I might know it if I look at it. So, Louis sleeping on the chair here. I just heard him, like, I just heard that, you know, like when they do their little, I'm being a big dog, but I'm sleeping. And I just heard him make his little big dog noise, like a little under his breath, big dog noise. And it's so cute. His little legs are like twitching. He's chasing something. Oh, John, thank you. He's popping the skit into the fun zone. Thank you. Kelly says that I had one on the go for a while. I'm trying to do one color so I don't have to think about the colors. Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, if you get the colors wrong, it will look terrible. I love watching Jack's interviews on the Graham Norton show. I love the Graham Norton show. It sounds terrible. It's like his stuff is so terrible that I love it. It's like sometimes it's a bit of a train wreck, and that's kind of why I like it. Okay, let me look here. So I go to there, and then I do. Is that right? No, that's not right. Hang on. This one is that. Okay, this makes more sense. You know, if I actually follow the pattern, it makes more sense. So yeah. We call them yip yips. I love it when the puppies do that. Yeah. I have a friend who started this way back. It's been put down for some time. Maybe one day she will pick it back up again. It's one of those projects that I think I would love to have it, I just don't know how I go with it, says Chantel, in year 2 of working on her queen. Oh my goodness. I definitely need another project. So I'm seriously considering having a look what is in my whips basket of knitting, because I've been trying really hard. Melissa would be so proud. Hang on. I'm trying really hard. Sorry, I was sliding off the chair. Really hard to not get distracted and only work on this project or on my fusion blanket. Except when I don't feel like working on a big blanket, I'm finding I'm doing absolutely nothing because I don't want to start another project. But I've realized I actually have a few projects, like a couple of pairs of socks and things like that I could possibly work on. But I do have to pull them out and check where they're up to and find their patterns and blah, blah, blah. There's a knitted brioche shawl that I had actually put aside, and I knew I'd put it aside because I'd lost the pattern, and I'd been writing handwritten notes on the pattern. So I waited until I did a big cleanup, and when I did the big cleanup in here, I found the pattern. So I've got to marry those two things back up again, and maybe I can get started on that brioche shawl again. Yeah. Was Jack the comedian that did some traveling specials with his dad? I don't know. I don't know enough about him. I've just seen a few sort of snippets on YouTube, and I've seen him. Oh, I just knocked over the iPad. That's fine. That's fine. I won't need it for a while. So yeah. Holly says, I think it's refreshing to break up big projects with small ones. Me too, but we've noticed a theme for me, which is then I'll go on and do 14 smaller ones and not actually get back to the big one. And I really want to finish this blanket. So I've been like consciously, like really hard trying to just work on this blanket. And then I don't work on it except for during live streams because it's still a bit hot for this one. But I suppose last night I was sitting in here reviewing some stuff, and I probably could have been working on it then because my hands weren't busy, just my eyeballs. I don't know. And it's in here now. I don't have to like go and get it from out in the shack or anything because it's in here. So maybe I'm just making up excuses now. I don't know. I don't think so. I just heard a car door close. We're expecting some deliveries from couriers. Finally. Margicraft drive bands arrived late yesterday afternoon. Thank God. They've been waiting for them for so long, it feels. And then I got a call from my Clover distributor yesterday, and my Clover order is being dispatched that I ordered in January. So I'm so happy that that's finally all come in and they're dispatching that order for me. So Clover and More sets will be back in stock, and all those people that pre-ordered the Clover and More or back-ordered Clover and More sets, they're all coming in. And I've even got a few extras of the yellow chibis as well, because, you know, we're nearly out. We're nearly out of yellow chibis. Yellow chibis are the most popularist. I don't know if he likes the little chair. He seems to curl around more in it. Let's see. That's all good. I think what's happening is when the mouse goes over the top of something at the moment in this software, it's just automatically, like I didn't even click that and John's message came up. So maybe that's what happened with the mute button. I just hovered over it and it clicked it. That's annoying. I don't like it when software tries to do too much. It's not my favorite. But yes, so yeah, maybe I can work on this some more while I'm doing things, because I could watch a Netflix special in here rather than sit on the couch. And then I don't have to have the blanket on my lap because it's on here. That can be my goal for the weekend, to see if I can do some rows, or even just one row on the Queen, not during a live. Let's see if I can actually do it. John says StreamYard just likes me. Yes, it does. StreamYard does just like you, John. Oh, goodness. Oh, I haven't finished my coffee. This was one of those instances where you think, oh, I just want one more sip. And normally the cup's already empty. But this time the cup wasn't empty. I love that. So I have not been active on Facebook this week. And I have not been active that much on the Instagrams. I pretty well haven't been active anywhere. Just sorting and doing things. So has anything exciting happened in any of the Facebook yarn groups that I should know about, that I need to go and check out? Because I haven't seen anything. I mean, I've been perusing, but not really participating. Lisby says, I'm in the second year of my Cosmic Cal. I'm hating these current repeats. Oh, I'm so sorry. Maybe we can have a thing. Like, do you remember a couple of years ago when we did the finish along, where we did the big group of actual just finishing our projects, and once your project was finished, like ends woven in and blocked if blocking's required, like it had to be like legit finished. And then we gave out all those prizes at the end. Let's just have like a little, like not so much so formalized, but maybe let's have a little thread in the fun zone. Just and I'll put in there, you know, when I finish a row, not during live stream, and you know, like things like that, just to encourage us, just to keep going with our projects that are just, I don't know, I don't want to sound too negative, but I feel like this one's holding me back from doing other things. But in saying that, it's because I want it. I want this blanket. I want it. And I would like to use it before it starts getting too, like when it starts getting cooler. So, you know, we've just started noticing some morning temperature drops here. So I'm looking forward to, you know, some cooler weather where I can wear my long sleeve t-shirts. I love my long sleeve t-shirts. They're my favorites. Oh, Leanne, look at you dropping them links. Popping in a link for the Clover supplies or other Fiberific products. Thank you, Leanne. Jump over to fiberific.com.au for all of your crafting goodies. Thank you. John, yes, you will need to start a project to join the finish along. But you're so good at finishing all your projects too. So, whereas I'm just terrible. I like starting one, and I like learning new stitches, and then I hate finishing a project. Oh, there is a mystery gnome along next month for Imagine Landscapes. It's super exciting. Wow, that does sound cool. I love little gnomes. Don't look. I'm not going to go and look at that because I'll be like, oh, I just want one gnome. John says I'm just bad at starting them. And Lisby, this is right. I'm not doing any crafting at the moment because I'm so guilty. I'm not working on the Cosmic. Lisby, you need a small project, something that you don't feel guilty about, something you've already got stuff for in your stash, so you're not feeling guilty that you're buying for it. You need to just make something, even if it's just a face washer, says Chantel, who's feeling guilty about working on anything except for a queen. My thing is I haven't been in the frame of mind for crocheting. It's not even so much I feel guilty that I'm not finishing this. It's that I feel guilty doing this when I need to fix the house. So, what is your goal for finishing the queen? It was last winter. I don't have a new goal. Last winter, I'm just bringing my footstool over. Last winter was the goal. We're well past that. We're about to come into, we're in autumn now. We're coming into the next winter. So, you know, but you're right. Setting a goal is always helpful. When my large projects start to tire a little, I make a beanie or a teddy bear. That is so cute. Yeah. I'm broken inside over still not having a wheelchair. Yeah, I can totally understand that. It's just, it's ridiculous that they still haven't sorted that out for you, honestly. It is. Vampire says, I have too many whips. My limited space means I can only have a few out at a time, so actually making progress on them. Well, that's good. So at the moment, this project is the only one that's easily accessible. So even my fusion quilt currently is under stuff. But I can get to it. Like I could move some things around and get to the fusion quilt. But I have an entire crate of unfinished projects. So what I need to do is actually go through the crate and work out why they're unfinished. Are they unfinished because I hate them and I don't want to work on them anymore? And every now and again, like I do this every sort of couple of years. Usually I'll go through and be like, yes, I hate this one. This one I still hate. And I'll actually frog them, reclaim the yarn, and move them out of the whip bucket. But yeah, so I need to do that again because I did find a few more that I added to it. So it is definitely stuff that I have that it clutters up your mental space as well, knowing you've got all these things on the go. So you can't start anything new that if you just started something new and smaller and finished it, that you would feel heaps better and then dig back in. And it's like this sort of cycle of creative stress is what it is. And so just this constant like creative stress of not finishing it and not finishing it and not finishing it, but then not allowing yourself to start something like kickstarting your creativity again. It's an evil cycle, and we all have to work out our own ways to get ourselves back into the game. Pam, hello. How are you going? It's good to see you in here. Pam has her own YouTube channel, and if you are a creative and you sell on Etsy, you need to go over there and check out some of her stuff. She has some fantastic videos on how to deal with Etsy and all their crumminess. Well, I think they're crummy, but not everybody does. Excuse me. But yes, definitely go and check out Pam's channel if you sell your stuff. Yes, we are wall twins. So Pam also has our wall. Here you go, Pam. Look. There you go. There's our wall. We both have the same wall. Wall twins. Oh, goodness. All of my whips, I've recorded in Ravelry, so it's easy for me to browse them to see if I feel like working on them, and then they don't get forgotten either. If they bug me, I frog them. Love Ravelry. I love Ravelry too, and that's a fantastic suggestion of getting all your whips into Ravelry so that you can see them easily. I don't do that, and I should do that. I go in fits and starts with Ravelry, whereas 1 minute I'll be in there like putting all my yarn in there, everything like getting those libraries sorted, and then the next minute I'm just like, yeah, nah. can't just start a new project. Let's not put it anywhere. One of the things I love about Ravelry is when you start a project, the notes feature, so that if I lose the pattern, I've still got all my notes. Oh my gosh, yes, I definitely love that about Ravelry. I have learned the AMA, which means reading and paying attention and watching videos, which means I can't watch other people's stuff while I work on it. That's holding me back. Yeah, I get that, John, because like it's a slightly different take on it. Is when I'm working on a project that requires attention, I can't watch a show that I haven't already seen before, because then I stop working on the project. And I can imagine it would be similar. Like you need to be watching videos on how to do the individual squares. So you need to just sit and do that. It's not like this one here where it's like, okay, I've got each row is different. Sure. But I can get into a rhythm for a bit of time and then get into a rhythm for a bit of time again. I've still got that possibility of being able to do that. So yeah, I totally get that. And that's why I don't watch shows with subtitles while I'm crafting. Absolutely. I tried 2 mystery makes and haven't finished them. I don't like how they look. One is a swap, another is a shawl. Oh, Leanne, you and me both. And I've got video ideas that are on my Trello for doing stuff in Ravelry, and I've just got to get in and make them so that we can all, use Ravelry better. What is it today? All the family are popping in. Hi, Abs. Why aren't you in class? Oh, it's morning tea time. I'm like, why aren't you in class? It's morning tea. It's okay. Uncle Daniel was here earlier, dropping in to say hello as well. John, you need to help me with the AMA. There you go. We start a little AMA support group over in the fun zone. Once you do one square, it's easier to do the others. But aren't all the squares different? Like, that's what I thought about the AMA. Yeah, so I thought the AMA was like all the squares were different. So it's not so much repeating. John says, yeah, the Queen's great because of the repeats. Absolutely, especially this one. How long is this blanket? Like, seriously. Here, look, desk view. This blanket is 2.2 meters wide without its border. It's so big. So, we'll get there. That's why each row takes so long. Also, I talk and then I don't crochet while I'm talking. I'm getting lots of hellos from Abby and the gang, from Amelia and Lockie and Nicholas. Say hi. Hi, guys. Freaky says, same, no subtitles while I craft. Reading takes up too much thinking time. Yes. Yeah, I can imagine. Like, for me, it's not so much that I'm easy. That would be impossible. Yeah. I watch golf while knitting and crocheting. Yep, I can see how watching sports would be all right. I think as long as it's not like, because please don't be offended, but it's like a dynamic, like super fast-paced action sport, like football or something like that. I can imagine that would be a bit trickier. But golf is a bit more of a relaxed sport. Like, there's moments of like where you're just sort of like pausing and looking. But yeah, there'd be definite times where you've got plenty of craft time. When I'm watching a show and crafting, when I look at the thing I created, it reminds me of the show. Yeah, I can imagine. Especially if you're like binging like Supernatural or something while you make a whole thing. It did it again where I just hovered over it and it dropped from Amelia. Thanks, Amelia. My daughter's trying to give me a new nickname, everybody. I'm not a fan, but she thinks it's hilarious. Browsing patterns is dangerous. I still haven't worked out how to browse the forums nicely. Oh, look. The forums are hit and miss, I think. I think sometimes they're a bit of a dumpster fire. Sometimes they're over-moderated. And obviously it depends on who's created the forum and what their rules are in the forum. Some of the forums I love, like Laura Nelkin's stuff. I love her forums. I love hanging out in there. But there's others that I'm just like, this place really is toxic. I can't sit here and watch this. And the advantage is it's very easy to leave a forum and move on to something else. So I don't spend a lot of time in the Ravelry forums anymore. I used to spend a lot more time. So I don't spend a lot of time in their forums, but love the library and the tools for the database of being able to set your own stuff up. I think that's great. And I love being able to contact the designers directly if you've got questions or queries or whatever, or if you just want to say, this was awesome, thank you. I love that about it as well. And Ravelry was how I found, I would say 99% of the patterns for the Mystery Lace Club. I would contact the designers, etc., either through Ravelry or through the information they had on Ravelry for direct contact. So yeah. Rebecca has any tips on drafting fiber? I did a folding one and it worked great, and now I can't do it. Okay. So with the fold, okay, I don't have any fiber handy. So basically you pull out a staple, just one staple, and then you fold it, and I tend to fold it over my finger and then hold it I'm just going to turn my hand here, hold it like that. So it's folded over and it's pinched. and then I'm drafting off the tip of the fold. So you don't want to hold it too tight. And that's where it can get tricky because it is a single staple or a single staple length. The actual, you need to allow from the middle, it needs to be grabbing the next piece because there's nothing longer on the sides to grab. I don't know if that's the best description. I'm sorry, Rebecca, but that's how I do it. Jen says, I can't do mosaic in the round. I've seen so many people doing mosaic in the round and it does my head in. Now I've done, where is it? Oh, it's over there. My pencil case. And that's technically in the round. I think it's in the round. I'm going to get my pencil case. I'll be back. I need to check. Louis, you're in charge. Okay. Louis, you didn't set fire to anybody? No? Good boy. Okay, so this pencil case I did is technically in there. Hello, red crochet hook of doom poking through. Get out. In you go, you little. It's going to be a butt face. I'm going to go and get it. Come out. There you go. So technically this was done in the round and there was a video for it. So it made it easy to follow it. So I would start with something like this. If you haven't already done one, Jen, stitching into the zip, for me, that's the nightmare. So if you have a look here, I'm not very, hand stitching is not my thing. So yeah, I would definitely have a play with that. But I think I got it. And I've got tons more of these zips and I'm going to make more of them because I love this pouch and it just used up some leftover cotton from another project. So, and I scored a whole pile of these zips for free. So, you didn't do so good with this one in the round. Okay. Maybe it's a practice thing, Jen. Maybe make another one. Where was your problems? Was it the edges or was it joining back up at the beginning of the round? And did you use this stitch? Because this is the only one I've done. I haven't done any of the other stitches. So this one you could fudge it a little bit if you needed to. Just skip a stitch. Like let's not look at the beginning of my round there. It's a little bit like it's a little bit dodgy. But it's all right. It's on the edges. Nobody can see it except for me. And it was my first go. So first go is okay. So, yes. Oh, it's totally a rabbit hole. Like going into Ravelry. Just don't, like, make sure you've got an alarm set if you've got to be somewhere. John says, I'm half deaf with 3 kids. I need subtitles, lol. Yeah, I don't know. John says, I couldn't watch hockey and crochet. Yep. A bit too fast paced for me. Like I would be watching the hockey rather than the crochet. Oh, gosh. Bye, Abs. Sorry, you probably already, oh, here we go. I'm just going to scroll past all of these. Scrolling past all the agreements with Abby about the nickname. Benfia says, when I finish my current few whips, I can pull out the queen size Thule. I started before we moved. Yeah, absolutely. Nitspin Girl says, I really like looking at other people's notes on patterns I'm thinking of making. Me too. And before I make anything, if I can check Ravelry and see what other people have said about it, there was one shawl that I was making. And it was sort of my very first lace shawl. I can't think of the name of the pattern, but it wasn't symmetrical. And it was a triangular shawl that was not symmetrical. And it was doing my head in. I'm like, I have to be doing this wrong. That I've got to be doing something wrong because I'm new at this and I have to be doing it wrong. And then I finally went in and read the notes and everybody had the same problem. And someone had gone in and made a fix and put in like a do this at the start and then the rest of it will line back up. And so I frogged it back and I did what that person said and it was symmetrical. The designer was annoyed because the designer had made it non-symmetrical on purpose. But yeah, it is definitely one of those things. Oh, Freaky's going to be lurking for a while. For some reason, I find mosaic crochet easier in the round. Okay, actually, John makes an excellent point here. So when I thought of in the round, oops, hello, attached cords. I thought of this in the round. But John, you're talking about the round squares, like going around in rows around rather than rows around. I don't know how best to describe it. But yes, I see your thing. I made I've only done one in squares. Was I think it was Tina's hearts. And I did struggle a little bit with that, but I did that before I did the W thing test for this. And then I've done this. This is the extent of my mosaic. Funnily enough, I only just threw out that heart. Let me just look here. I agree with you, John. Toughest part of that was stitching the zipper. It was the hard. I nearly gave up because it just did my head in so much. I did Trail of Tears. It's going the beginning and not supposed to show the seam. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if technically I would consider mine a success, but it's successful enough, if that makes sense. Like, it's good enough for me. I wouldn't sell it. Bub says, I love the colors in your mosaic. Thank you. I love them too. I've just finished 1/4 of this row and the count was right. Yeah, go Lisby. That happened to me once. I noted an error and everyone in the forum was spiky about it. Yeah, because they're like defensive of it's defensive of let me just do that. Okay. Yeah, the defensive of the designer. Sorry, there was a troll, so I just dealt with them. And yeah, they get defensive of the designer, but sometimes the designers like to know when there is something, amiss. Sometimes things get missed, especially if your pattern testers are people that are part of your group and are so used to following how you design and do a particular project. In their brain, they actually just kind of gloss over the mistake because they know what it's supposed to look like and they just make the change automatically without even considering, which is why it's really hard to pattern test your own patterns, because in your brain, you're just doing it and what you're doing may not necessarily actually match up to what the written instructions are. So yeah, not the most funnest when people are spiky about that sort of stuff. We go there. Freaky is back. How did you go? Did you warp up your cards okay? Yeah. All right, we're getting nearly to the end of a row here, you guys. That's exciting for me. Not too sparky. I hope that could start a fire. Yeah, I hope not. I hope not, but we were saying spiky rather than sparky. Maybe I said spiky. I don't know. My accent could be misinterpreted sometimes, I'm sure. I was looking right at them and couldn't find them. Oh my goodness. Totally been there, done that. Oh, Leanne, it's all good. That's why we're all here doing it. That's why we're all here. It's because sometimes we don't see things, or we're not sure if it's meant as a joke or if it's meant to be bad. But I hope the family issues aren't bad. So it's all good. Also went and did the dishes and came back. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's why we have lots of mods, so that it doesn't matter. I did a test for a designer and had to learn Tunisian stitch, but the pattern was great. Well, that's something. Francis says, I've been away for the last week and my cat's really clingy. He keeps trying to walk across my lap while I'm trying to spin. I have a dog that would try and sit on my feet and he'd rest his head on my foot while I'm spinning. So his little head would be like going ding, 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 because your feet move. And he just wouldn't move his little dog head. And he just rested his head on the top of my foot and it would just go up and down. It was so funny. What does everyone think about a traveling niddy noddy? So when you're looking for them, put D's where you've got T's. They're niddy noddies. I've got one. I've got a little Ashford mini one. Look, I think personally I prefer a full-size niddy noddy, the 1 to 1.5 yard niddy noddy. The advantage with them is you get a decent size skein that can fit on all Swifts. The little ones, they don't all fit on Swifts, so it can make ball winding a bit trickier. It obviously depends on what you want to do. They're actually both just out in the lounge room, but to show you the comparison. And it's just I personally think you're better off just getting a full size niddy noddy. The actual ends come off so that if you need to store it flat, you can. There's no problems. And you can like store it in a little, like make yourself a little bag for it so you don't lose any of the pieces. But yeah, I think you're better off with a full size niddy noddy rather than the little mini ones. So unless you want to make little mini skeins, then the mini ones are annoying rather than useful, if that makes any sense at all. No worries, Leanne. Have an awesome one. Everyone's just chatting. Jackie forgot it was Thursday. It's all good, Jackie. Freaky says, I forgot Monday was a day to be online tuned. Yeah. Yeah, and I agree with Jackie. Get one that can be pulled apart for easy carriage. Most of the ones that you order, you have to put together. So as long as you don't glue the ends, you're good. I found that one of mine, the end would drop off all the time. So I actually just stuffed a bit of fiber in there and jammed it on. Worked well. Jancy says that she's made her own out of plumbing piping, and you can do multiple sizes. I actually made my first one out of garden, like the piping that they use for when they're installing all your garden water spout. So it's like thin black piping, and you had like T intersections, and you could screw in like little short pieces to make it. Yeah, I made mine out of stuff I got at Bunnings. Jackie's made out of 3/4 inch dowel and copper tees. Yep. Plumbing is a tricky word. Polypipe. That's what I was looking for. Thank you, Jackie. But yeah, mine's just my first one that I had, and I had it for years. The only catch for me was eventually it started bending, and it just annoyed me. So I just went out and bought an Ashford one, and I think it cost me like $12. Like this is many years ago, so I don't know how much they are now. But I would definitely be checking out your local Ashford dealers and things like that, and not necessarily looking at Etsy. But basically, all you need is a straight piece of wood or whatever, something straight, and 2 pieces that go off, and you actually put them so one goes like a T and one goes like an L facing forward, and so that it's not like a H when it lays flat. You actually have to twist one side, so one side's flat and one side's standing up. It's very odd, but totally worth it. Game Widows overslept. I wish I could oversleep to this time today. Oh my gosh, I am so tired. I've had a couple of nights, I would say 3 nights, where I was waking up with my lower back cramping. That's not fun. So I don't recommend. I definitely need to go and get a massage. That would be very nice. Unrealistic right now, but very nice. Yeah, I agree with you, Freaky. They're very odd looking, but they work well. And yeah, I'll make a video on how to use your Nitty Noddy and how to load it up so that you get a skein that doesn't have any twisty bits or caught up bits. That would be a clever video for me to make, wouldn't it? Lots of companies make Nitty Noddies. I know Margicraft do, Ashford does, Nancy's Knickknacks used to. They had a really cool one. I loved theirs. And then lots of little makers, like people with just like their own little men's sheds and Etsy stores and all that sort of stuff. What did I do wrong there? Oh, I know what I did wrong there. I didn't do the stitch I was supposed to do. It's amazing how if you actually do the proper legit stitch, how much better it looks. Just follow the pattern. It will tell you what you need to do. Well, Deb, I think that sounds fantastic, except we don't have a bath big enough for me. So I don't have baths. I just shower. When we did our bathroom renovation, my one thing that I wanted was a bathtub that was big enough for me, except they couldn't fit one into our little tiny bathroom. So, yeah. We've got a bath, but it's just not big enough. So, oh, I'm at the end. Everything's different. Hang on, let me find here. Okay, so I do one. Jen says, do you have an inhaler? I worry about how your lungs sound. Yeah, they're not sounding great today. And I have multiple inhalers of all different colors. I probably should have had a bit more this morning before I started the live stream. But I actually think you might be hearing the fan rather than my breathing, if that makes sense. So yeah, it seems okay. I'm just like, now I'm super nervous about it. Because that's why I stopped using a lavalier microphone as well, because it was really picking up my breathing. And I was like, oh, no one needs to hear that. But yes, I do. I have lots of inhalers. But like anything, it doesn't work unless you actually use it. Linda says, bathroom renovations suck. Going through that at the moment. We did ours many years ago when Abby was little. And Abby was the main bath user. Hang on a second. What have I done here? Oops. 1, 2. I've definitely done something wrong here. There we go. I tried to add in an extra stitch. Good job, me. My Nitty Noddy was made by a friend. She hand carved and whittled the end pieces. Nice. You would also get benefits from soaking your feet. Yes, I have a foot spa. I love my foot spa. It's got all like cool, fun little, things that I like, little rollies and stuff that I can put in up the top end of it. Love it. John says, that's one thing I need when I buy my new house, a tub I can actually fit in. Yeah. Doesn't it just sound like such a luxury? I know whenever I stay in like a nice hotel, like the first thing I do is check the bathroom and I'm like, oh my God, it's got a big tub. And I'm like, right, rearranging the calendar so that I can fit a bath in. Yeah. We may have forgotten about all the public holidays, delaying the workers, so it's extending it longer than I would have liked. But to be fair, I wanted it over after the second day. Yeah. Like we were pretty lucky because we have 2 bathrooms. So it meant that even though this bathroom was totally out of action, we had a whole nother like bathroom. Cause like this one's it's got the bathroom and the toilet all in the same room. And because they just like emptied the entire room, there was nothing in there. But they knew that because Abby was little, that we preferred to bath her, because how old was she? She would have been 2 or 3. And that we preferred to, no, she would have been older than that. She had to have been older than that. She would have been 5. Because I'm just thinking who I got to do the bathroom work. I met through prep at school. Yeah. Anyway, so, but Abby still preferred a bath. So what they did was, as long as we promised that no adult would stand in it, they chocked it all up and set up the bath with just the bare pipe, so we could actually still run her a bath until they finished all the the edgings and everything like that. So yeah, it was kind of cute. We've got this photo of Abby, and there's no walls. Like, it's just like, studs and stuff. So they re-gyprocking and re-water sealing the room. And yeah, but there's Abby sitting in a bathtub, like, that's just propped up. It was so funny. A bathtub that doesn't take forever to fill. See, that's the problem though. For a bathtub that's big enough for me, it does need to take a little while to fill. But I don't think I'd ever be a person that would take baths like every night. I definitely prefer a shower. Okay, let me just double check that I'm doing. Yes, okay, cool. Jens has been going through a bathroom reno for 5 years. It's the pizza. Oh, yes. It's not fun. It's not fun. I will say that the guys who did ours were wonderful. They cleaned up every day. And they were here for a week. Now, admittedly, small bathroom. But that included tiling. Everything was done in a week. So I was blown away at how fast it was. We've done, I've just dropped my scissors on the ground. We've done a row. Yay! Okay, next row. Come back, scissors. We won't need you for a while, but we will need you. Ugh. Why is the ground so far away? Goodness me. All right, next color. Actually, we're still in the same color. It's still yellow. I'm using Brava Worsted Weight. This is the canary yellow. This one's caution. That one's canary. I actually prefer the canary, honestly. I really love using this Knit Picks Brava Worsted Weight. And I'm glad I went this way. Oops, I need to bring in the yarn. So it does all the thing. Tonight is, what have I done there? I've trashed that. Let me try again. Let me just try again. Okay. I've just noticed a lot of you have changed to gold, the channel members' colors. Is that new, or am I just noticing it? It could be that I'm just noticing it. I mean, that's a very long tail. I don't need a tail that long. Yes. How many tries before I can get this done? Oh my goodness. All right. We've done it. Yay. Got him. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think our bathroom reno was so long ago, we could do with another bathroom reno. Oh my goodness. Okay, how many of these do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Ah, I touched the screen too much. Nine. Everyone remember 9 for me? Has the chat stopped, or have you guys just stopped chatting? Because there's a difference. Maybe the chat stopped. I don't know. On it, there we go. Okay, chat has not stopped. Half of 18. Very funny, Freaky. Linda says, working while listening, got to get paid. Understandable. Yes. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yay. Right, then 2. I think no one is chatting. Okay, cool. That's okay. I get if there's no chat, but I was just like, did I freeze again? I don't know. So thank you to everybody who's jumped in. Lisa's just grabbing some more tea. I could use another cup of tea, Lisa, honestly. All right, I'm just making sure I'm doing the right thing here because it doesn't look right. Oh, Lisby, next quarter done. Count is still right. Fantastic. That was just to make sure my chat was not freezing on you. Thank you, Freaky. I appreciate that. That's that and that. Then 2. And then all the way across. Okay, we're reducing down again. All right. Holly's asking if anyone's been watching Moon Knight. Now, if you have, I need no spoilers in the chat, okay? Because I haven't gotten to start watching it yet. And I want to watch it. And I think it's going to be amazing. But I don't want any spoilers. Today I am also dyeing. Just went and checked it. Loving the colors. Lots of dark red tones. Nice. Lisa says it's getting cold here, so tea and soup time. Oh my gosh, I love soup. But Abby and Tim don't consider soup a meal, so I don't make that many soups. I'm busy counting. Fair call. Fair call. Oh, geez. I nearly was like, what? But yes, very funny with the credits rolling. Apologies from Artsog. I could rant a bit if you like. How's WoW going? I've only watched the first 2 episodes and I have been enjoying it. You guys are awesome for not sharing spoilers. I need to catch up. It's one of those things at the moment my brain can't handle new stuff. So I'm watching reruns of CSI Las Vegas, like original CSI. That's all. That's what I've been watching. That and Lego Masters is back on telly. So I've been watching Lego Masters at night because it's fun. John is busy with his is a girl still considered a beau? I don't know. With his chicky friend. That's awesome. The best CSI. I agree with you. I watched the brand new CSI Vegas, like the new season that came out that they brought out, and it made me just want to go back and I've been rewatching it from like season 1 again. So watching the whole character arcs of everything. I think I'm up to season 5, maybe 4, somewhere around there. The lows. I haven't even made it into the teens yet. So I just think it's amazing. It's one of these shows, right? Hang on a second. I just have to double check what I'm doing. But it's one of these shows that they just finished the original series and went, you know what? We need that back. We need that show back. It's only been off the air for like 5 minutes, but we need it back. And I just think that's really amazing. Jennifer's doing her Wordle. Yeah. I was doing Wordles for a while and I kind of went off them, truth be known. Okay, so here it's, well, that doesn't look right. Did I botch that one up? So it's 1-1. Hang on a second. 1. Oh, okay. No. It's all, yeah. It's fine. I was reading the wrong part of the chart. I'm thinking I need to be able to put 2 double crochets in, but the answer is no, I don't. 1 is fine. Oops. John says, I think Better Call Saul is coming back and Deadliest Catch just started back up. And there's a new Star Trek series coming. I am hanging out for that new Star Trek series. I think it's going to be amazing. Love the cast. Facebook took the game from me for a while. And Daily Crosswords took that game from me. I don't know which game you mean. I haven't even been like doing any of my iPad coloring in or anything, or any of my games. Just plodding through it took a lot to get the stuff out of the shack. Not because of how much stuff was in the shack, but because the house is already full. So finding places for the things from the shack to fit in to the house. It's been like this serious game of Tetris. It's just been doing my head in. We're not there yet, but we will. We'll get there. We'll get there. Yes, we will get there. Oh, okay. In other words, Wordle and crossword just stopped working. Do you think the Wordle stopped working because that big newspaper bought it and they were changing up the back end of it? It was a newspaper that bought it, wasn't it? I think it was a newspaper. Someone bought it. I just think the whole Wordle thing was awesome. Just like the whole story of it, like the guy just wanted a word puzzle for his wife for every day. And that's how it started. And then she started sharing it with her friends, and her friends started sharing it. And next thing you know, it's like this global phenomenon. Isn't it? I just love stories that start like that. Just because that's kind of how Ravelry started. Cassidy just wanted to make something for Jess where she could put all her patterns and all her yarn library and stuff. And it kind of just grew and grew and grew and grew. I love those stories. New York Times. Yeah, the big newspaper. Not a clue, just know for nearly a week they would not work or show up in my feed. I have to search for them now. Oh, that's frustrating. I always just went to the actual website to do it. I never did it through Facebook. So where are we at for time? Man, last week we got through 3 rows in an hour and a half. And this week I'm lucky if I'm going to make it through 2 rows in 2 hours. So much talking. Hang on. What did I do wrong? 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. That's correct. And then move on to the next stitch. Just keep stitching, 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 stitching. I just realized that I've actually left the window open behind the sound curtain and I can hear all the birds. You did not pick you're right, I didn't, Freaky. I didn't pick the hook up straight away. We had a big old chat to start with. You're totally right. Yeah. So anyone who's local, reminder that Caffeinated Crafters is on at IKEA tonight if you want to come along and bring a little project to work on. I'll be there from around 6. Oh, you can't hear the birds? Oh, that's awesome. Magpies are out there chasing minor birds, just as that's my guess based on the sounds I'm hearing. But yeah, so if you're local, come join. It's fun. We just have tea and chat and hang out. And I might even test their coffee tonight. It's been a while since I've tested their coffee. The last time I did not enjoy it. Lisby says, as soon as I have the new chair, I plan on coming. Oh, well, that's awesome, Lisby. I can't wait. But I bet you can't wait more because it opens up your world again. I hear birds, but they might be outside, as in outside of your window. Do you have questions ready for the testing? Do you have questions ready for the testing? I don't know what that means. Lisby says, I managed to drive to and from my parents on the weekend, so I'm getting stronger. Oh, that's fantastic. That's good news. I wish I was local and could join you guys. I wish you were local too, Holly. One day I will travel. And when I travel, I'll let you guys know and see if there's any way we can meet. Oh, testing the coffee. Sorry. Not those kinds of questions. I will be testing its flavor. But yeah, when I travel, I'll let you guys all know and see if we can't meet up somewhere for a coffee or something. But I'm not traveling anytime too soon. But I would like to venture to your continent. I just may end up on the wrong side of it for you. That's my only concern. Oh, Jennifer says that she's got magpie singing as well. That's awesome. I love magpie song. The wobble. I actually think the magpies will be really happy that the shack's gone because it opens up the grass area more for them, and they really like that. At the moment, it's a big bare old dirt patch. I'll take a photo later and add it into the fun zone chat. I was tossing out whether or not to take video of the shack leaving, but then I couldn't. I didn't want that. I didn't want that constant reminder. Just making sure I'm doing it right. Two. Just move that iPad out of shot. Well, if you ever make it to Southern California, I would definitely meet up for coffee. Well, I've actually got a few friends that I need to meet up in LA. So I don't know how far, more southern you are, but I could certainly sort something out, I think. And there's a conference I want to go to that's in LA itself. It's right near the airport, actually. So there's actually a few reasons I would go. I know there's more to SoCal than LA, though. Don't worry. Kelly says, I'm desperate to ask, but no pressure, and know you've been busy, but will you have a chance to get the blinglets done soon, holding off putting an order in? They are on the list. I have now got everything sorted and ready. I've got some Cricut stuff I have to do first for people who already put their order in, and I need to get that done because they've already ordered, so I need to get that out. But once that's done, which I'm hoping to have done by the end of this week, because I now have the table and I have the Cricut, I've just got to set it all up. Like, I'm looking at it. It's over there. It's a bit messy. Lucky there's no camera for over there. But yeah, so once that's done, then I'll be looking into sitting out in the back patio and trying to test the next batch of glue for the blinglets, because I made tons of blinglets and then none of them work. So I'll do a small test batch. So if you send me through the colors and sizes that you want, just send them through in an email or a DM or something. When I do the test batch, my test batch, I'll do in your colors so that if they do work, then they're ready. Magpies are going nuts here too, very noisy. LA is drivable. Okay, well, that's good to know. So if I end up in LA, I will let you know and we can meet somewhere for coffee or lunch or something. Because there is a conference that I would love to attend. Is it the first half or the second half of the year? I think it's around September, October each year. I don't think I'm going to make it this year. Based on where I'm at right now, I don't think I'll make it, but maybe next year. I was kind of hoping this year was going to be the year, but maybe not. Yeah. Oops. Let me keep going here. I'm like looking at the end of this row, and it's like, if I can just crochet just a little bit faster, we can totally get a third row started. I'm like, come on, third row. See, now I'm like, I can do 3 rows. I know I can in an hour and a half. So doing 2 rows in 2 hours feels like failure. It's 2, not 1. There's so many places that I want to see. And I know that like television shows and stuff don't do them justice. Like, do you know what? I had no interest in checking out New York until I started watching Casey Neistat's vlogs. You remember when he used to do like a vlog a day, like years ago? And it wasn't until I started watching his vlogs that I was like, you know what? I kind of want to see New York now. And LA was the same. Like, I had no real drive to want to go to America at all because, like, Australia is pretty awesome. And then now I've made friends and there's conferences I want to go to. And I'm like, okay, all right. But for me, what's scary is that plane trip. That's a massive plane trip. I don't even know how many hours it is. It feels like it would take forever. So, like, is it like 15 hours or something? I don't know. It feels like it's a big trip. I mean, that's true, Yoda. Only 13 more repeats of color left on the borders of the shulography. Yes, you're getting there. You're getting there. Game Widows wants to go to Canada. Jackie says it's only 13 hours to LA. Only 13 hours. I don't know if I could sit for 13 hours. I mean, I'd have to download some serious TV episodes on my iPad, but I think I could do it. John says, ugh, I hate New York. It smells like pee. Sorry. Oh my goodness, that's terrible. Holly says it's a long plane trip, but it's not too horrible. Okay. Yeah. Lisby says 14 hours direct Brisbane to LAX. It's nice that you can go direct now. You never used to be able to. Bruce says it's 16 hours to Florida. There you go. I mean, many years ago when I was about 15 or 16, I wanted to visit my aunt and uncle, and I couldn't afford the airfare, so I caught a bus. And that was 15 hours on a bus. Mind you, I had no broken bits back then. So nothing to ache. I was just bored. I can deal with boredom. It's pain that I'm not good at dealing with. Francis says, I want to go anywhere. My first overseas trip had been booked for April 2020. Yes. I did mute myself on purpose that time because I was coughing, and I didn't think that you needed to hear that. It was a purposeful mute. So where was your trip, Francis? Where were you going? Freaky says, if we did not need passports, I'd travel everywhere all the time, but I can't leave my country because you don't have a passport. Yeah, Game Widows was booked to go to the UK in 2020. I went to my kitchen instead. Yes. Molly says, if you can save up enough or have points, business class is bearable. I love business class, honestly. I managed to use points a couple of years ago to go business class from Brisbane to Melbourne. And oh my God, it ruined me for flying because the seats were so much more comfortable. And I loved that the person sitting next to me wasn't so close. I felt like they were touching me. Because that's the other thing is when I fly, I'm a big person and I fill my seat. I don't overflow into the seat next to me, but I fill my seat. And if the person next to me also fills their seat, then there's touching, and I don't like touching. Jackie says, I did it with a snapped ACL and we had to do it twice because they turned the plane around nearly halfway due to a malfunction. Oh my gosh, that would have been excruciating. Knitspin Girl says, I used to do Melbourne to Brisbane every summer school holidays by bus, 24 hours each way. Isn't it just the worst? It's just so long on a bus. They have, hang on. They have a lot of movies and TV shows you can always watch and get up and stretch your legs. So much better than a bus. Yeah, true, because you can't do that in a bus. Oh gosh. I've cruised. Cruising's fun. 10-day cruise around the South Pacific, Namia. I did a 7-day cruise that did that. Namia. I didn't do Fiji. I did Namia, Vanuatu, and Port Vila is what I did. So yeah. Mine was 7 days, but I love it. But my problem was that according to the captain of the ship, that because we cruised in winter, yes, it was technically winter. He said that the weather formation that we were outrunning, if it had been summer, would probably have been classed as a cyclone. It was not exciting. The ship was rocking quite a lot, and it was a very old ship. It was its second last run, and there was a plumbing problem, and it was not awesome, but also awesome at the same time. After COVID, I don't think I can cruise again. Really want to do a New Zealand cruise. Look, I've been reading so much good stuff about what the cruise ships have been doing to get, because they got a serious bad rep. Like, at least in Australia, I don't know about everywhere else, but in Australia, they got a really bad rep when COVID started. But now they've done so much. Like, they've got so many rules about who can board and who can't board, and things that have to be done, and they upgraded their medical facilities. They basically have a COVID ward in each ship now. They've got more doctors on board, more nursing staff on board. I mean, obviously it depends on the company that you're going with, but just like, I'm just seeing so many changes to their industry in that regard. And I just think that is awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I still don't know. My aunt and uncle did one where they were moving the ship between seasons, so lots cheaper. Oh, okay. So they basically went like a long distance, like moving the ship from, say, Australia to America or something like that. I didn't realize they filled the ships for those, but that makes total sense. I did the Melbourne to Perth via the Nullarbor Cannonball run on a bus. Do not recommend. The return trip was 3 days and much better. Oh my gosh. I think other than my big, massive bus trip, I think the next longest thing I did was a huge train trip. The longest flight I've ever taken was to New Zealand, which was 3.5 hours. And I still got a little bit of jet lag, which I'm just so embarrassed to say, but I still got a bit of jet lag. It only lasted maybe a day or so, but yeah, it was not awesome. Francis says, I can't decide whether to try again or just fly. I don't know either. It's a tough one. I mean, they're both bringing out some really amazing deals to get everybody sort of going, like back on board. Mark's asking, Brisbane to Melbourne, is there no train? I don't believe so. I don't think there's a direct train. I think you have to change trains. You can fly though, and you can catch buses. But no, I don't. I could be wrong, actually. Is there a direct train from Brisbane to Melbourne? Anybody in the chat who happens to know? Because I don't think there is. Because I think, believe it or not, there's different train tracks between the states. So they have to get to a certain point and you need to change train. So, yeah, Jackie's that says not direct. Francis says there is a direct train. John says, I did 14 hours on a cargo plane coming back from Bosnia with the army. That sucked. Bosnia oh my gosh, that would have sucked. Yeah, I think they are different. Josephine says no direct train. You have to change in Sydney. Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne. Are they all the same now? They used to be different. Spin Girl says, I used to do the bus because there was an 8-hour stopover in Sydney. Yeah, I can't imagine your parents would have been happy with that. I rode the Trans-Siberian Express train from Moscow to Beijing, and let me tell you, 5 days on a train is a long time. I believe it. Oh, Sydney to Melbourne there is direct. But yeah, no, we're talking Brisbane to Melbourne. I mean, it's a fair way. What is Brisbane to Melbourne? It's like 1,800 kilometers, 2,000 kilometers. Jackie says they used to be different, but changed to the same years ago. Okay, I could have sworn it was still an issue like 2 or 3 years ago for some reason in my brain. My brain be wrong. Game Widow says just fly. It's cheaper, it's quicker. That is a bucket list train ride that I can imagine that it would have been beautiful. But still 5 days is a long time to be on a train. Yes. Oops, 2. Just double checking. Who says, I feel for you, John. I've flown Scare America when Dad was in Japan. Is that what you guys call it? Scare America. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I definitely prefer to fly over longer taking transport, for sure. If I've got the option, I fly to Melbourne rather than drive. It takes 2 days of driving to get there, and that's like 12, 13 hours in the car each day. So I don't want to drive if I can avoid it. Yeah. It was a cargo plane. Gosh. But yeah, I definitely prefer to fly if I can. I'm just not the biggest fan of sitting next to strangers, no matter what mode of transport I'm taking. And I definitely don't like being in the middle. I will get to the airport, like I will pre-book, like I will set up my ticket. I will get to the airport way early, whatever I need to do to make sure I get the aisle seat. I want the aisle seat. I need to be able to escape whenever I want. So, yes. Some people are like, I love the window seat. The window seat is awesome. If I can't have an aisle, I would prefer a window over the middle. But I would prefer an aisle seat because then I can just lean out and get away from the other people as much as possible. Does no good for my lower back, but that's what I do. Holly says, plus my stepmother was hyperactive and doesn't read or anything, so she was bouncing off the walls. John says, window seat, and I always ask for an exit aisle, more legroom. In Australia, you pay more for the exit aisles. You pay more for, yeah, they call them X seats. And so you pay more for the exit aisles. I tend to leave those because I don't need more legroom because I'm very short. So I tend to try and leave those for the people that actually, have issue. But my other pet peeve, ready for it, because this is controversial, is short hops on a plane, couple of hours. There's no reason to recline your seat because then I am forced to recline, even though I don't like to recline, because I'm big. Fitting into those little narrow seats, I end up sitting up more upright and sort of push forward just a little, right? So my tray table only just goes down as it is. The second the person in front of me reclines, I can't use my tray table. I have to put my tray table back up and just sit there and just stare. And more often than not, if they recline, I'm like this far from the back of their seat. So I have to recline. And I hate reclining because the person behind me has the same problem. So, yeah. But it looks like we all want the aisle seat. Francis says no reclining in cattle. I agree. If there's not enough room, like, I hate it. It bothers me so much. And everyone's like, well, if the seats weren't meant to recline, then they wouldn't let them recline. And I'm just like, dudes, they designed those seats many years ago before they narrowed the gap between the seats. But it could also be just because I'm bigger and I don't like it when people recline in front of me. And I won't recline. Like, that's the thing. Like, I won't pass that on to the next person if I can avoid it. Ruth says window seat. So you need to fly with us, Ruth, because we're all like, no, we don't want the window seat. And Ruth's like, I want that window seat. Jackie says window seat for her as well. She wants something to lean against. Yep. To sleep. I'm not a fan of reclining, and it can be annoying if someone reclines in front of you because then it feels like their head is in your lap. I agree. My flight to the retreat last year was upgraded to Economy Plus. I had side knee room. Wait, what? Economy Plus is awesome. Never been on a plane from Rebecca. I want seat on the wing wider than the rest, and you can just escape first. Yeah, those are our Economy Plus seats that you've got to pay more for. John says he likes to look out the window. Oh, we're at the end. Hang on, let me just work out what I've got to do for this end. Had knee room. Chintamani, hey, welcome to the chat. She wants a window seat. So basically, we're all happy with either window or aisle, but no one wants that middle seat. I'm like, that middle seat's great for my bag. I'd like my bag in the middle seat. When we used to travel with Abby when she was little, it was really good because then Tim would sit on one side, I'd sit on the other side with her in the middle. But now Abby's like, she's adult sized, so it's just a squishy. We're gonna make it. Gonna make it. Crochet project goes in the middle seat. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't like putting my bag in the overhead lockers. There's one very important reason why. Because I can't reach them. I can't reach the overhead lockers. If like I can open it and I can sort of get my stuff in there, but the second the flight's over, I have to get someone else to get it out for me because I can't reach it to get it back. So I always try to tuck it under the seat in front if they let me. Or yeah, that's my preferred option. Let's do those scissors. We have finished a second row. Yay. I'm with you, Chantel. 1 hour flight. And the person in front of me reclined and squashed my knee, which I had a brace on it. Oh my gosh. Being in a wheelchair that tried to give me that whole row, I like the middle so I don't hit so I'm not hit by the cart constantly. Yeah. But if you get the whole row, getting the middle would be nice. But I don't get the whole row. I get one seat. If there's nobody else in the row, I don't care which seat I get. I just flip up all the armrests and spread out. The problem with those escape seats is that they don't let you wear noise-cancelling headphones because you need to be alert in case of emergency. Well, that was when I last flew. Oh, my gosh, really? How do they know your headphones are noise-cancelling? Like, really? My first flight to Wellington was on a stormy day. Flight was okay, some bumps, but nothing too short landing strip with water at the ends and the plane fishtailed down the runway. Oh my gosh. Oh, this will be controversial from Jackie Doyle. But I've decided I don't like knitting on short flights, not enough room. And if you drop something, I agree with you. If I'm on a short flight, I watch something or read something. I don't tend to craft. Also, every single time I've tried to take my craft on the plane, they've decided that that's the day that no knitting needles are allowed, or that's the day that a crochet hook looks too dangerous. And you're just like, really? Your website says I can have it. I got through security with it, but now you're not letting it on board? Like, dudes, do you know how long this half a sock took me to make, and now you want me to just bin it? But yeah, short flights, I tend to, and I've only done short flights really, I tend to just watch something rather than craft. It's controversial. I've tried crafting. But I agree with you, Jackie. Long flights, I think I'd try and make more of an effort just to break things up. But I don't know. I don't know if I'd even do it then. Jen Dill said Dad was a company man. They used to put me there on purpose because I'd had the training. Oh, wow. I'm a white knuckle flyer. I need my security blanket. Fair enough. They always ask, would you be able to help others leave the plane? Like, lady, if this plane goes down, it's every man for himself. I love that. Oh, my gosh. Oh, wow. Well, we all know where we stand with John, everybody. Mark says, funnily enough, I watched a YouTube video about the USA making all their train tracks the same width. They did thousands of miles in a day or so using thousands of workers. Wow. Gosh. We always have such the weirdest conversations, don't we? It's so fun. It's so fun. No flying with John. Oh my gosh. John O'Brien is the person who would trip somebody else to escape the zombies. Oh dear. I've told Tim and Abby, if there's ever an instance where speed is what they need to save their lives, they have to just abandon me. Like, no guilt, nothing, because I want them to survive. So, yeah. Like, just move. I will keep up as best I can, but I can't keep up. So don't let yourself die just trying to, be there. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and that. All right, we're into the repeat now. All right. If I ever see Tom Hanks on a plane, I'm out. If I ever go anywhere in the UK and I see like Tom Barnaby or Joyce Barnaby, I'm like in the car leaving whatever that town is. I'm out. In case of emergency, slipstream in behind John. Game Widow says my zombie plan is to assimilate early. So I don't want to assimilate early. I don't want to be caught, but like if it's a toss up between my whole family or just me, it's just me. I might be able to move faster as a zombie because zombies don't feel pain, right? Yeah, and if you that's it. That's exactly right. I've actually joked with Tim and Abby about it. It's just like, guys, you'd be fine. The bear's always going to get me. And Abby's like, I don't know, Mum. I see how fast you move out of like perfume counters of stores and stuff. Because like in Australia, like Myers, which is a big department store here, the entrance to their entire shopping thing, you've got to get through this perfume counter area. Absolute nightmare if perfume's one of your triggers for your asthma. So I do this thing where I actually have to be like, okay, and it's like I've got to build it up and I've got to get ready and I've got to like track where I need to get to. It's like, right, if I can get to that closed section at the back, that should be clear enough away. So I'll be like, right. And Tim and Abby actually break trail for me now because they move so much faster usually. But I like, because I have to hold my breath. I can't breathe in that smell. So I've got to get through an entire perfume counter area without breathing. And if I get slowed down and I have to take in a little short sit breath, that's it. I'm done. There's like medication required. But yeah, Abby's like, you can really like power through a perfume counter area, Mum. I think you could get away from it like a bear or something. And I'm like, no, bears run. I love to make random comments on Fence and their strength based on a zombie apocalypse to people and watch their face. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like, yeah. I would end up food, I think. I think I would end up a zombie, honestly. I'd be the sad zombie because I don't like brains. Brains are gross. Jen Jill says, John and I are prepared for the zombies. Oh my goodness. John, that's terrible. Oh my gosh. And on that note, oh my gosh. Oh wow. John, remind me never to go anywhere with you ever, just in case, because I am that slow friend that you'll need to just deal with. That's cold. Guys, it's been so much fun hanging out today. There is no live stream over on the other channel tomorrow. That is next week. And I have got some plans in to make some new videos for this channel as well. So they're not more live streams, but more videos. As I sound treat this room better, I am still looking at adding in a nighttime live stream. So to flip the time zones a little, so that like it would only be a short live stream, but we'll just sort, that's on the future plans. Once I work out how quiet my family can be at night, which so far is not at all. It's not enough. So yeah, I'll see you all here next week. You guys are hilarious. I'm still reading the chat. I'll see you all here next week, same bat time, same bat station for our regular live stream. And hopefully by then I'll have a bit more of a plan nutted out for future content on this channel. So I will see you all then. Have an awesome week and be good to each other and don't shoot them and feed them to zombies, John.